Ladies and gentlemen, you can't make this up. The Washington Post now is turned on Brian Stelter. And this is important because you have to understand, if you are you're working in mainstream media, your life, the talent pool, the level of talent is judged by how much contempt you can level at Trump, while at the same time evoking this image of being morally superior. So you have to be morally superior and level disdain and contempt at Trump. Now you can't, if you're not morally superior and you just complain and condemn Trump, that's not good enough. If you feel that you're morally superior but you're not able to generate enough negative emotions from your writing or from your television or CNN segments, then that's not good. You need both. And Brian Stelter used to have a little of both. He was never really... Everyone knew that this was some kind of farce. Like this was somewhat of a comedy routine, watching this man along with Chris Cuomo and everyone else in media. But they dealt with it the same way they said, well, Michael Avenatti 2020, Andrew Cuomo should win an Emmy. Eric Schneiderman's going to take down Trump. Juicy Smollett is fantastic. All of these things, they put logic and reason aside, and they said, look, anyone going after Trump will just disregard their obvious flaws, their obvious character flaws, and the fact that they're only doing it because it's popular, and they don't really mean the things that they say. Very few people actually mean what they say when it comes to criticizing President Trump. Most of the time, it's an act. It's a theatrical performance. These are actors, okay? You're not talking about David Brinkley, Peter Jennings, Sam Donaldson, Ted Koppel. I'll put Dan Rather in there also, like I said, but he sold his soul to, spewing, negative thoughts about Trump, which is interesting because he lost his job because of a story that wasn't accurate in the Bush administration. That is like a daily event with Trump, Donald Trump Jr. Trump never worked with Russia. He never did any of the things these people accuse him of having done. Otherwise, they would have charged him or indicted him for January, or for pressuring Zelensky, or for working alongside Vladimir Putin, or for this financial labyrinth of corruption that they found with his tax returns. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Brian Stelter is done. I don't know when he's going to leave. People say, well, you're saying that these people are leaving. They're leaving. They're done. Oh, I don't know when. Tomorrow? Next week? When the Washington Post turns on you and you're a top CNN, let's say, propagandist, it's your career leveling negative emotions and trying to tell the world how horrible Trump is over. Okay? You can't disparage Trump when you don't have the support of everyone else who's devoted their lives to disparaging Trump. That's not the way it works. So, Stelter has been humiliated to his face by Ted Koppel, who is a legend, by Michael Wolff, who's the Brian Stelter of literature, by Stephen Colbert, who's the Brian Stelter of comedy, and by the Washington Post. And there's like one or two or three really good journalists at the Washington Post. The rest of the Washington Post is just, take down Trump at all costs. But here, opinion. Brian Stelter continues shilling for Chris Cuomo. So, this is by Eric Wemple. CNN chief media correspondent Brian Stelter won't quit. On a Sunday show, reliable sources. See, everybody even laughs at these names, too. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Tell your friends about this channel. If you want to give a super thanks, the super thanks button is to the right of the like and the share buttons. I have to thank Barbara Volek. Thank you, Barbara. So kind of you. Thank you so very, very much. Jean-Louis Blackburn. Let's see. There are some other people as well. Roger Rabbit, as always, you are fantastic. Roger Rabbit, thank you. The super thanks is right next to the like and the share buttons. If you want, I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding like some people who are facing, by the way, a discrimination case. But if you want to support my work and this channel, the super thanks button is below. I will have a live stream tonight at around 10 p.m. Pacific. And if you want to support the channel and my work, my Patreon is also below in the pinned comment and on hagoodman.com. And you can read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. But here, CNN chief media correspondent Brian Stelter won't quit. On his show, Reliable Sources, which, by the way, these are hilarious names like Super Honest Show, talking about how media is completely objective while everyone devotes their life to undermining Trump. Show, CNN show. So Reliable Sources, the longtime media reporter, unspooled a risible defense of his own network's handling of a straightforward ethical disaster. The on-again, off-again coverage of primetime anchor Chris Cuomo vis-a-vis his brother Andrew M. Cuomo, who on Tuesday announced his plan to resign as governor of New York. So in grilling Stelter, Colbert homed in on the discrepancy. See, this is the thing. It's not so much that they're upset with Andrew Cuomo or appalled by Chris Cuomo helping his brother. It's the fact that they can't do what they love to do, which is condemn Trump with people like Stelter or Chris Cuomo or Andrew Cuomo. That's the thing. They know this, so it's more of a okay. Let's clean house and find new people who will be able to condemn Trump and disparage and mock and denigrate 75 million supporters of President Trump. Let's find people who are adequately suited for that. We can't roll with Stelter anymore. My God. And so industry rules have plenty to say, in other words, about what Stelter called his craziest set of circumstances. You have, when asked about all this, a CNN spokeswoman referred us to a statement from February. Quote, "The early months of the crisis were an extraordinary time. We felt that Chris speaking with his brother about the challenges of what millions of American families were struggling with was a significant human interest. No, it wasn't. It was a nauseating, embarrassing moment where these people, these two men felt like they owned, they were the most popular students in class. They were like in love with one another. Oh yeah, you were always the favorite. And they just felt like all of America adored them. And they didn't realize that Andrew Cuomo in particular was being utilized as a foil to Trump. When Chris Cuomo every single day in his nauseating, typical Trump syndrome derangement manner, where he's like, oh, how could Trump do this? And oh my God, and if you like Trump, there's something wrong with you, and how could he do this? Like, look, you worked with your brother to get out of possible crimes. You used your knowledge as a journalist or your influence as a journalist to help the governor of New York get away with crimes. Okay, you have no room to talk. Even if you think Trump is like the embodiment of everything horrible, you have no room to talk. These are people with the glass houses that are already cracked. These should be like, this is the thing. Hypocrisy. They're so horrible. Stelter and Chris Cuomo are such liabilities, and Andrew Cuomo, the Emmy award-winning best-selling author, they're such liabilities that even Democrats now have to look at the word hypocrisy and say, okay, too much. We've actually entered this dystopian, nightmarish realm where we have to actually address hypocrisy. It would be hypocritical for us to have these people continually disparage Trump when most of the country will say they're even worse or the same. And when you look at what Trump didn't have a criminal probe against him for his allegations. Andrew Cuomo and our beloved president, the police report, that was leveled against him. Okay? You look, and it's just another person who devoted his life to taking down Trump, who's taken down himself. All three of them, Stelter, Cuomo, and Andrew Cuomo. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Thank you.